Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to be talking about cards that you can get for the leaked Marvel Commanders. So these are obviously an upcoming set of 4 secret layers, it looks like. We're not sure if they're secret layers or how exactly they're all going to fit in together, but they are looking realistic. Like, I bet 99% chance that these are real. There's a chance that they're not, but check out my other video where I kind of analyze why I think they are real and everything. I'll put a link to that down in the description down below and the comments. Now, we're not sure if they're going to stay as like a promo / secret layer, because it's very likely it's going to be from like New York Comic Con, which is where they're meant to be announcing all of the new Marvel / MTG stuff together, or if they're going to end up being in the main set and maybe this is just like a special art for them or something. But worst case, they end up being real and everything. You can always proxy them if you can't get them, because they do end up being a secret layer. Potentially what I'm going to end up doing if they are a secret layer, because I doubt I'll be able to get them over here in Australia, because secret layers are we know that, how bad they are. Now, keep in mind that I am going to be covering everything Marvel / MTG. I absolutely love Marvel. So I used to be a Marvel Strike Force content creator for this. I have, Marvel running through my veins, comics, MCU, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you subscribe for all that. And any MTG stuff as well. We cover all of it here. So this was the original post here. And as you can see, we've got 4 different ones. It does look like they could potentially be like a secret layer each, most likely with like the commander and then like a selection of different cards to kind of go alongside them. We'll have to see how exactly that ends up working out, but either way, these are the cards, and as I said, they look realistic. Everything about them kind of makes sense to me. So the first one here we got is Iron Man, Titan of Innovation. So he is a flying haster with, whenever Iron Man attacks, create a treasure. Then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact with mana value equal to 1 plus whatever that was, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So kind of like a birthing pod, essentially, for artifacts whenever he attacks. And you have the choice of doing this. You don't necessarily have to. And you get to create treasures too. Really cool card. There's some stuff that this can work really well with. Like, we've got the Sahili here. If you create a token artifact of an artifact you've got in control, then you can sack it freely, right? You don't need to actually sack it, because you could just sack the token artifact version of it. You won't be able to attack with it, unfortunately, but you will be able to at least use it for free, essentially, with your Iron Man here. We've got desynchronization. Return each non-land permanent that's not historic to its owner's hand. So if we are filling our deck with a whole bunch of artifacts and legendaries and stuff, because there's a lot of legendaries that work really well here, this is going to work really well for us, essentially as a board wipe. We've got Emery, Lurker of the Lock. Costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Then when it enters, mill 4, and you can choose to play artifacts from your graveyard with it. Great in a deck that's going to be sacking out artifacts. Mystic Forge, play artifacts from the top. We've got Jorah. Every time we cast a historic, which, artifacts are, draw a card. Scrap Trawler, anytime an artifact goes into the graveyard, you can return something to your hand that is lesser mana value. So this is a way for us to be able to cycle through things really well. We've got Urza, Lord High Artificer. Create the colorless construct. Then we can also tap our artifacts that we can create, and then also we can, exile something and play something for free. Lots of great ways to make use of this in this deck. Cyberdrive Awakener. If we've got a whole bunch of artifacts out that are non-creature ones, which is what you're probably going to put a lot of these into your deck, you can go activate them all to a big swing. We've got Khan, Legacy Reforge. Make it so that we get a lot of mana at the start of our beginning of our upkeep. We've got Whir of Invention. This is just an artifact tutor ourselves. This is going to allow us to do this into Iron Man, sacking it kind of thing. We've got Simulcarium Synthesizer. So we can create more of the colorless constructs with this. Mirror works. Whenever a non-token artifact enters, we can pay to create a token of it. Enroaching Mycosynth. This is going to make it so that every card in our deck, right, that is a permanent, is an artifact. Therefore, you can technically tutor up anything from your deck now with Iron Man here. Esoteric esoteric duplicator here. Whenever you sacrifice it or another artifact, you can pay 2. If you do, at the beginning of your next end step, create a token that's a copy of it. You don't need to exile it to be able to create a token and copy of it or anything. This is relatively cheap at the moment, but it's also from the big score. I bet once Iron Man comes out, this is going to go really well because we're going to be sacking artifacts left, right, and center. Yeah, lots of great uses for this. Duretti. We're going to be able to sack artifacts to return an artifact back, or we can do this to be able to cast our artifacts too. To be able to return our artifacts. Insanely great here. Worst case, you can also just draw cards and then discard cards with him too. We've got Wolverine, best there is. So Wolverine's all about dealing damage. So he's going to double all damage he deals. At the beginning of your end step, if he dealt damage to another creature this turn, at each end step. So we want instant fight spells with him, right? Put a +1/+1 onto him, and then we can pay 1 and a green to regenerate him. So we've got stuff like Naeth the Dire Hunt. So this is going to make it so that we're able to double Wolverine's power. Boom. Really, really nice. Whenever one or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw a card. Free card draw. Urvold Tracker. Pay 1 and a green. Tap it to make target creature you control fight. Vigor. If damage will be dealt to another creature, aka, if damage dealt to Wolverine, boom. Now he's going to get +1/+1s from that. Really, really nice. We've got Xenagos. Just double Wolverine's power with this, which is then doubled again. Dopendal, beginning of combat, double Wolverine's power and toughness until the end of turn. We've got Tyvar's Stand, which is a nice instant here. Gives Wolverine hexproof, indestructible, +X+X. Mithril Coat. We've got Wolverine out, right? We want to make sure that he's indestructible. While we can regenerate him, making him indestructible is just going to work better. Power Fist. Whenever Wolverine now deals combat damage, we're going to put +1/+1s onto him. Because they've got an option here, right? Your enemies are going to have an option. Do they block him and therefore Wolverine gets +1/+1? Or do they have to let Wolverine through? They're going to have to end up blocking him because otherwise Wolverine's just going to get through and get a whole bunch of +1/+1s. And therefore Wolverine's going to proc and get, +1s anyway. We've got Unnatural Growth. Just double your Wolverine's power and toughness each time. Innkeeper's Talent. All those +1/+1s are now double that amount, as well as we get to put +1/+1s onto him. And they give him Ward. Next up, we've got Captain America First Avenger. So he's got 2 separate parts. The first part is Throw. You pay 3, unattach an equipment from him, and he deals damage equal to its mana value divided by 1, 2, or 3 targets. And then we've got Catch, which is at the beginning of combat. We get to attach a couple really great things here. We've got like Mjolnir, which is going to be an amazing one to work with him. It automatically equips, and then also some stun stuff. Sigarda's Aid, give all our auras and equipment flash, and then when an equipment enters, we can automatically attach it to Captain America. Pure Steel Paladin, give our equipments equip 0. Fighter class, reduce our equipment cost by 2. Also, we can tutor up an equipment with it, really great. And then whenever a creature you controls attacks, it has to be blocked. So if we give him Trample, boom. We've got Excalibur. This is the best one. You're going to be able to deal, when you unattach this from Captain America, you're going to be able to deal 12 damage divided by 1, 2, or 3 targets. Really great. As well as giving, him +10 and vigilance. Codsworth. Tap for 2 white that you can pay for your equipments with. Helvar. Boom. Now all your equipped creatures have double strike. Really great. As well as another free equip. Reality Chip. I really like Reality Chip in this deck, I think, because we can use it to be able to, 1, have a creature out, but then reconfigure it to attach it to him, and then be able to play lands or cast spells from the top of our library. Drawer, again, we're going to be playing a lot of artifacts, boom, draw cards. Pippin, I think Pippin's great in this deck as well, to just give us some extra protection here. And then we've got Reaver Cleaver, just some great equipments, right? Great equipments. Also, Embercleave gets reduced by attacking creatures. Really great. And then we've got Helm of the Host. So if we've got, a Captain America out, why not make another Captain America? And another one that all get to, throw things around. Really cool. We've got Mantle of the Ancients. If our, equipments all get removed, we can use this to bring them all back. Really cool. We've got Black Panther Wakanda King. All right, so the next one is Black Panther Wakandan King. So he has first strike, and whenever him or another creature enter the battlefield, you're going to put a +1/+1 on a target land you control. You can then pay 3 to move all of those counters from a target land you control onto a target creature. If one or more is moved that way, you're going to gain life and draw a card. So you're paying 3 to draw a card and rearrange these +1/+1s, essentially. So there's a few different things here that just do stuff to do with +1s, you know, Reluctant Role Model, Sovereign. We've got Innkeeper's Talent here. Champion of Lambholt doesn't really do much with +1/+1s, but if you buff it up, then yeah. We've got Felidar Retreat, so that way when lands enter, we get to create beasts and then, you know, put a +1 on that. Kadama, making it so that whenever you deal combat damage with a modified creature, you get to search up some basics. Evolution Sage, whenever a land enters, proliferate. A lot of stuff to do with like lands and counters, basically. Resourceful Defense is one that I absolutely love because it's another way to be able to move these counters around too. We've got Heartstone here to reduce the cost of moving them. Doubling Season. This deck is perfect for Doubling Season because not only will it double the amount of counters, but it also doubles the amount of creature tokens that you can create. So you can just continuously like add more counters. We've got Scoot Swarm. Create more insects every time lands enter, and then, you know, from there, put more +1s on stuff. Ocelot Pride is crazy in this deck because you're going to be able to create a lot of tokens, which therefore feed into more +1/+1s. We've got Ashaya here, making it so that all of our non-token creatures are lands, so we can technically then put the +1/+1s onto our creatures. You could just directly buff up like your Black Panther if you wanted to. So the other thing that I thought of, why don't we just take these lands that we're putting +1s onto and then just animate them, right? Then we don't even need to move the stuff around. So we could just use like Ren and Realmbreaker to just animate a land. We've got Nissa, just animate a land again. This one here as well with this Nissa doesn't make it so that they turn back into like a land at the end of the turn, so we could just continuously do this to our lands. We've got Sylvan Awakening, turn all of our lands into creatures. Unfortunately, you know, from here we don't have a kind of continuous, like it doesn't make it so that our land drops are therefore creatures as well, but still not too bad because we can just, you know, swing the things that already have +1s on them at the face of whoever. We've got Kamal, who's going to make it so that, you know, you just pay 1 and a green, turn a target land into an elemental creature. Really great. Life and Limb. So this one here will turn all our forests, just forests specifically, into saplings. So therefore, you know, they come in, they'll be creatures that enter. Therefore, they get +1/+1s, and then we can put the +1s onto the forest. Really cool. So let me know what you guys think. I am pretty excited about all of these. I think that the one I'm most excited for is probably the, I think the Captain America still. I think I'm still most excited for the Captain America. Which one are you guys excited for? Have a great day and goodbye.